Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. We have some news, but before we get into that, I just want to take a minute and ask you guys to make sure that if you like this type of content, that you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell next to it to be notified of every video I post here on the channel. And if you could do me a huge favor and give this video a thumbs up, that'll help the channel out greatly every time you do that. Anyway, on with the news. The very first thing that I have for you guys is a really cool image from the Beast of the Mesozoic, and it is a sneak peek of the paint job in progress for the fans' choice version of the Taurosaurus. Now, don't get me wrong, the blue Taurosaurus has a huge following. A lot of people love that figure, and many people, in fact, said that that was the best release from the Ceratopsian series up until this point. Personally, I way more prefer this version. This version is gorgeous. This is pretty much exactly how I like to see my Ceratopsians, so to have the Taurosaurus of all figures getting this coloration is really exciting because I think they completely are nailing it. The coloration, the tones, everything, the way it's applied, it all looks great. So this is definitely a must-have if you ask me, and in my opinion, again, not everyone's going to agree with it, but in my opinion, it's much nicer than the previously released bluish version. And then as far as Marco Makes goes, we actually have a really cool sneak peek of his Prehistoric Planet figures, although he has stated that once these release, they will be called Mesozoic Planet because of copyright for obvious reasons. But you can see what the packaging and everything will look like for the Tyrannosaurus, as well as an image of the fully painted version of the T-Rex. And as always, Marco completely nails it when it comes to his figures, and this is gorgeous. And in fact, I recently told him this might be my favorite figure from Marco ever, and that's really saying something because I have a lot of Marco Makes figures in my collection, and so many of them are like some of my most prized possessions, but this Tyrannosaurus is just unbelievable. The sculpt, of course, perfectly replicating the Prehistoric Planet version. The paint job is just as good as the sculpt. It's incredible. And we also have a look at the Velociraptor as well, which yet again is exactly like you see on Prehistoric Planet. And I feel like that's going to be the case through all of his Prehistoric Planet figures. They're all going to look pretty much exactly like you see in the documentary. He has completely replicated the Velociraptor, in my opinion, again, to perfection, and the paint job is just as awesome as the sculpt. And as usual, the packaging is pretty much just as awesome as everything else. When you get a Marco Makes product, it is the highest of quality, and this is pretty much a dream-worthy figure, if you ask me. And then, of course, we actually have two images here just in general showing off how gorgeous these figures are. Again, the Rex is unbelievable. And then you've got the Velociraptor as well, just to see that kind of in-hand image. Two of my most anticipated figures, I think, currently coming out from anyone. And then as far as Guilherme Bilinski art, he has also begun creating a Spike figure. He already has created Littlefoot and Sarah. He is now moving on to Spike, and the accuracy is so on point here, it is ridiculous, because that perfectly replicates Spike. Again, up until this point, obviously it's not finished, but he is doing a phenomenal job on his Land Before Time line, and this looks to be yet again another perfect addition to that line. Cannot wait to see the finished product, but as he continues to progress and post images, I will of course bring them to you guys in news videos. And then, and thanks to Collect Jurassic, as far as Mattel goes, we have a plethora of images here of different minifigures and mini sets and everything that are going to be coming out in the very near future. This set looks really cool, again, including a Pyroraptor in the minifigure line, something we haven't had prior, as well as a nicely painted a Taurosaurus there, which is really cool. Of course, a helicopter and everything included in that set. It definitely looks like a really fun set that I will be greatly anticipating because I'm loving these minifigures from Mattel. There's also an Alan Grant and Dimetrodon, which is pretty cool to see. I think the set here again comes with quite a few different figures, but what's interesting about the Dimetrodon, if you ask me, is it looks like it's more so based on the older sculpt of Dimetrodon from Mattel, not so much the newer one, but it still looks really good, and the coloration and everything of that is fantastic. And again, you have the addition of quite a few other figures included in here, but they look pretty much to be repacks, if you ask me. And then, of course, Alan, which would be a new figure, but still a pretty cool looking set regardless. And then there is an absolutely massive minifigure set here that you can see has a plethora of different figures, and this one is up for pre-order on Amazon for, I think, right around the $30 range. So you get a ton of different minifigures here for that price tag. It's really cool to see a Concavinator in here as well, because that's something I don't believe we've seen in the minifigure line at all. And of course, other figures like the Iguanodon repaint, other versions of the Atrociraptors. It actually looks like we potentially have all the different versions of Atrociraptors here in this set. And you can also see, again, dinosaurs like the Suchomimus and everything included. That's definitely a really cool set for sure. On top of that, we have a look at some more of the pop-ups coming, which there's kind of like a love-hate relationship, I think, at this point for the pop-ups. Many people seem to like them. Many people don't like them at all. Many people seem to be more partial to the Snap Squads, but I think these guys look pretty cool. I'm really excited to get a hold of the Atrociraptor Ghost because I love the Atrociraptors. But again, the fact that there's a Morose, a Giganotosaurus, and the Therizinosaurus included in this wave of pop-ups is pretty fun, and I'll definitely be picking them up when I can find them. And then we also have a look at two legacy figures that are coming out, which in my opinion are both letdowns, like really big letdowns, especially this one. This is meant to be the Jurassic Park 3 Velociraptor, the female Velociraptor, and obviously it has sort of a similarity to it, but it's just really not good. Like, the sculpt, they did at least use the correct type of a head sculpt with that kind of crest-like look on the head of the Velociraptor, so that's a plus. But I don't think the tones of color are perfect. We certainly needed way more coloration to it to actually, kind of recreate the Jurassic Park 3 female raptor. There's just not enough paintwork, and it just generally doesn't look good to me. So much so that this actually might be one of the first Velociraptors from Mattel I might not buy, which would be pretty crazy. And it just doesn't do it for me. We'll have to wait and see, though. But then we have the Geosternbergia, and this one I was pretty excited about until I actually saw it. One thing I definitely hate on this figure is the teeth. The teeth are completely unnecessary and just really, in my opinion, kill the entire figure for me. And yes, Mattel always seems to include teeth on their Pteranodons, even though they didn't have them, but for some reason the teeth on this one are exceptionally distracting and completely kill this figure for me. But the final thing that we have as far as Mattel goes is a look at the upcoming Dreadnoughtus. That, again, all of this is thanks to Collect Jurassic, just to show you how unbelievably huge this figure is. Definitely looks to be the largest sauropod from Mattel yet, and definitely, in my opinion, the most impressive, because this thing is a beast and it is incredible looking. Probably one of the coolest, if not the coolest, Mattel release that I think they've had so far, because this is just an enormous and unbelievably beautiful paint job and sculpt for a Dreadnoughtus, and the fact that in general it is a Dreadnoughtus is unreasonably exciting. So this is a figure that I am extremely excited about, one I cannot wait to get my hands on, and also one of the most exciting releases coming from Mattel ever, as far as I'm concerned. So as of right now, guys, that's all the news I've got. When more comes out, I'll be sure to send it your way, but until then, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.